Ever pondered over the existence of God? Ever questioned if there's a divine power orchestrating the universe? These thoughts are not new. They've been around since the dawn of human consciousness. Today, in our modern society, these questions have gained even more prominence. As we advance in science and technology, skepticism towards the existence of God has increased. Some argue that we've outgrown the need for a divine being, that we can explain everything through science. But is that really the case? Can science explain the sense of wonder we feel looking at a starry night? Or the love that a mother has for her child? Such questions are far from being obsolete. Rather, they're more relevant than ever. Regardless of where you stand on the spectrum of belief, it's crucial to engage with these questions, to seek, to question, to explore. Let's delve into an exploration from a biblical perspective. Are you ready to embark on this spiritual journey? The Bible, a book revered by billions, offers profound insights into this question. Let's dive straight into the heart of the matter. Many scriptures within the Bible reference God's existence, and one that stands out is Psalms 19:1. It reads, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." Now what does this mean exactly? In essence, this verse is saying that the vast expanses of the sky, the stars, the clouds, they all shout out, in their silent but magnificent way, the glory of a creator. Just as a painting reflects the skill and style of the painter, the skies reflect the glory of God. They are his canvas, his masterpiece. But unlike a painting that eventually fades, the skies remain, a constant reminder of his presence and power. Let's look at another verse, this time from the New Testament, Romans 1:20. "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse." This passage suggests that we can see evidence of God in the world around us, in nature, in people, in the very fabric of life. His invisible qualities are visible in his creation. Doesn't this make you wonder? If we can appreciate the work of famous artists like Van Gogh or Da Vinci, why can't we do the same for the greatest artist of all, the one who painted the universe with stars and galaxies? Finally, we have Hebrews 11:6, which states, "And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists, and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him." This verse underscores the importance of faith in knowing God. It's not just about seeing, but also about believing. These scriptures allude to an omnipotent being, don't they? But let's not stop here. Can logic and reason affirm the existence of God? Let's dive into this fascinating question. In our search for answers, we often turn to logic and reason, tools that have served humanity well in understanding the world around us. But can these same tools help us understand the existence of God? Let's consider the universe. It's complex, isn't it? It's so intricately designed that the slightest variation in any of its fundamental constants could make life as we know it impossible. From the smallest subatomic particles to the largest galaxies, everything follows precise laws of physics. The universe operates like a well-oiled machine, its parts working in perfect harmony. Now think about a mechanical watch. If you found one lying on the ground, would you assume it just randomly assembled itself? Of course not. You'd recognize that its complexity and precision suggest a watchmaker. Similarly, doesn't the complexity and precision of our universe suggest a universe maker? This brings us to Romans 1:20, where the Apostle Paul writes, "For his invisible qualities are clearly seen from the world's creation onward, because they are perceived by the things made, even his eternal power and godship." In other words, the universe itself testifies to the existence of God. It's as if every sunrise, every blooming flower, every star in the night sky is a love letter from the Creator, revealing his power and divine nature. Now let's turn to the orderliness of the universe. The laws of nature are consistent and reliable. This reliability allows us to predict natural phenomena, like the changing of seasons or the motion of planets. Doesn't this orderliness point to a lawgiver, an intelligent mind behind it all? The complexity and orderliness of the universe are compelling logical arguments for God's existence. They suggest a creator who designed the universe with precision and sustains it with consistency. Isn't it curious how everything in the universe operates so harmoniously? What do you think? Ever wondered why we have a universal understanding of right and wrong? Now that's a question that might keep you up at night. It's like there's this grand cosmic rulebook that everyone seems to be aware of. We call it our conscience. And it's this internal compass that guides our actions, nudging us towards the good and away from the bad. This brings us to the moral argument for the existence of God. The moral argument posits that if there is a universal moral law, then there must be a universal moral lawgiver. And who could that be, if not God? Think about it. If there were no higher authority, morality would be subjective, varying from person to person, society to society. Yet, we see that certain moral truths are universally accepted. Stealing is wrong. Lying is wrong. We don't need to debate these points because they are ingrained in us. It's almost as if someone has written these laws on our hearts. This idea is reflected in the Bible in the book of Romans chapter 2 verse 15. It says, "They show that the requirements of the law are written on their hearts, their consciences also bearing witness." What this means is that we inherently know what is right and wrong because God, in His wisdom, has placed this knowledge within us. Now, I can see how this might seem a bit abstract, so let's bring it down a notch. Imagine you're playing a game of chess. The game has rules, right? You can't just move your pieces any way you want. The rules aren't decided by the players or the spectators. They exist independently of them. Similarly, moral laws exist independent of us. They guide our actions just like the rules in a game of chess. So, if there's a game with rules, there must be a game maker. If there's a moral law, there must be a moral lawgiver. Our innate sense of morality points to a moral lawgiver, doesn't it? That's the moral argument for the existence of God in a nutshell. It's like a breadcrumb trail leading us back to the divine. What about those personal experiences that are hard to explain scientifically? Let's dive in. We've all heard stories of people who've had encounters that they just can't explain by science or logic. They speak of a feeling, an encounter, a presence that they could only attribute to something divine. These experiences are as varied as the people who have them, but there's a common thread, a sense of connection to something greater, a divine presence that's both comforting and awe-inspiring. Now, skeptics might argue that these are mere coincidences or psychological phenomena, but isn't it interesting that these experiences often lead to profound changes in the lives of those who have them? Changes that reflect a deeper understanding, a higher purpose, and a stronger moral compass. This is where a passage from the book of Acts comes into play. Acts 17:27 says, "God did this so that they would seek Him and perhaps reach out for Him and find Him, though He is not far from any one of us." This verse suggests that these experiences aren't random, they're divine nudges designed to draw us closer to God. Consider this, if God is as the Bible describes, omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent, then isn't it plausible that He could reach out to us in ways that transcend our understanding of the physical world? Imagine a world-class chess player playing against a novice. The master player can see moves ahead, while the novice struggles to keep up. The master can guide the game in subtle ways, leading the novice towards a deeper understanding of the game. Isn't that similar to how God might guide us, using experiences beyond our comprehension to move us towards a deeper understanding of Him? The personal experiences we've discussed are deeply subjective, yes, but they're also deeply compelling. They provide a glimpse into a relationship with God that's intimate, transformative, and real. These experiences may be subjective, but they are compelling, aren't they? So, does God exist? We've journeyed through the scriptures, exploring biblical evidence. We've seen how the universe's intricacies, its beautiful complexity, can't just be a random coincidence. That's the logical argument, and it's rather compelling, isn't it? We've explored the moral argument, the innate sense of right and wrong that seems to be etched into our very being, suggesting the existence of a moral lawgiver. And then we've delved into personal experiences. Stories from every corner of the globe, people from all walks of life sharing experiences that they attribute to a higher power. The divine encounters, the miraculous interventions, the comfort in times of despair, the strength in times of weakness, these are not mere coincidences. So we circle back to our opening question. Does God exist? As we journey through life, the signs of a higher power seem to be all around us. The Bible, logic, morality, and personal experiences all seem to point to one conclusion: there is a God.